Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making coconut pecan cherry cookies. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Be a mouthful of delicious cookies in a little while. Alright, I want to welcome all my subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. And my new people who are watching that have never come before, welcome. And everyone who's watching who hasn't subscribed yet, well, hey, push that subscribe button and come on so you can see what I'm doing next time. Anyway, let's dive right into this recipe and get these cookies on to bake. Yum. Alright, so let's start out with, I'm going to start out with a half a cup of softened butter, which I'm going to be putting in my little mixing bowl here. Today I'm using a wooden spoon and a spatula. Those are going to be my major high-tech tools. So, a very simple and easy recipe to do. Get the rest of this butter in here. The price of butter these days, you can't afford to waste any of it, that's for sure. Okay, so into that goes a cup and a quarter of sugar. Plain old white sugar, caster sugar for those in the UK. And there's 1/2 cup and another half a cup. 1/2 cup and 1/2 cup equals 1 whole cup. Here we go. And a quarter of a cup. So 1 cup and a quarter. And now I'm going to cream these two lovely ingredients together so that it doesn't look like two separate ingredients in my bowl. It starts to look like one. And I'm just going to do that using my wooden spoon. Now if you want to use a handheld electric mixer, you can do that with a handheld electric mixer. You can do it with a stand mixer. But it's just as easy to do it like this by hand. Helps me burn off some calories that I'm going to get from eating these cookies later. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. When I take butter out of the fridge and it's cold and I want to warm it up quickly, it happens to be a sunny day, I take it and I chop it up into fine cubes. And then I put it in the sun, and it sits there in the sun for half an hour or so, and softens up just as if you did something to it, but all you used was solar power. It's important to get your sugar and butter integrated together properly, because later on the recipe, it'll make a big difference in how your cookies turn out. So you want to make sure your butter and your sugar are all integrated together. And when I add my eggs, it's not going to be like trying to make oil and water mix. Okay. There you go. That's what it looks like when you're finished beating it up. And now I'm going to add 2 eggs to it. No shells today, please. Today I'm using white eggs. I did go through some brown eggs for a while because I couldn't get white eggs, but I'm back to using white eggs again. And the only thing I really found different about the brown eggs is I think their shells were a little harder, a little firmer, perhaps even a little heavier in weight. I didn't weigh any of the eggs, actually. And of course I have to wash my hands after doing that. And now I'm going to beat this until it is light and fluffy, the instructions in the recipe say. So let's get stirring these together. I know these cookies don't look very yummy yet, but you know what? They improve. As the recipe goes along, they will get much more yummy looking, especially when you get to the final stage when they're baked and you're going to eat them. That's when they're really yummy. In the meantime, these are just steps along the way. There, light and fluffy I would say. There you go. Now I'm going to add my dry ingredients, which are 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That's all-purpose flour in Canada. That would be strong flour and bread flour in the US and the UK. I also have a teaspoon of baking soda. This is not baking powder, this is baking soda. And a half a teaspoon of salt. So you're supposed to mix these together, but you're supposed to sift. Actually, you're supposed to sift these together, but I don't own a flour sifter, so this just goes in like this. So I'm just going to put some flour in, put my baking soda in, put my salt in, put the rest of my flour in. You notice I have two completely different brands and styles of measuring cup here for my flour, but you know what? They both measure 1 cup of flour. That's what accurate measuring cups are all about, so that you use this, it's a cup, no matter what it looks like. All right, get this stirred in. Stir in your dry ingredients. Now, this is one of those old-fashioned recipes, and you can make coconut cookies instead of making coconut pecan cherry cookies just by simply adding coconut to this and leaving out the pecans and the cherries and the cherry juice, but that's another story. So I'm just going to stir this in, stir in my flour till it's all integrated in here with my other ingredients. And I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think that's 175 Celsius, but I'll check that. It'll be in the recipe in the description box below. So don't worry, metric people. I'll have the metric equivalents in the recipes down below when I finish this, when I post it up to YouTube. Alrighty. And I can tell you something, making your own cookies, you're not going to experience shrinkage when you go to the grocery store to buy your favorite cookies, because this recipe doesn't shrink. It stays the same. It'll always produce the same 4 dozen cookies the way it did the first time you made it. Unlike cookies that you buy at the store and all of a sudden that package seems suspiciously smaller and those cookies look a little thinner, and is that less filling in there? Well, guess what? You're not imagining it. It's called shrinkflation. Unfortunately, consumers, we are paying more for less. And the more that you rely upon things that have been pre-made for your convenience, the less likely you're going to be getting your money's worth. A sad reality of the times we are currently living through, unfortunately. Alrighty, there's my flour, all integrated into my butter, sugar, and eggs. There you go. Alright, having shown you my mixed up batter here, now I'm going to show you the rest of the yummy things that are going in here. I'm going to mix them together. 1 cup of coconut, and if you're making coconut cookies, you'd just put that directly into your batter and you'd be done. And to my coconut, I'm now going to add a half a cup chopped cherries. Not glacé cherries, but maraschino cherries. Maraschino cherries are much wetter and much more available in your grocery store. Like, they still have just as much red food coloring. 1/4 cup of maraschino cherry juice. You just get that right out of your bottle, out of your maraschino cherry bottle. Followed by 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. Chopped pecans. Oops. 1/2 cup chopped pecans, and now I'm going to add a teaspoon of almond flavoring. Yeah. And now I'm going to stir this together. Since I've chopped up my maraschino cherries, they go nicely into everything. And look at that, how pink and pretty that is. So that's now going to go into my bowl. And I'm going to fold this in to my basic cookie batter. And then I'm going to be measuring these out. Drop cookies, they're called. And now I'm just going to stir this into my basic batter here. Okay, here's my cookie sheet. Now, if you're using a metal cookie sheet, you better grease it. But this is a well-seasoned stoneware, so I don't have to grease it. And now I'm going to take my 1 tablespoon cookie scoop and measure these out. Now you can just drop them from teaspoons from your drawer onto it about 2 inches apart. So we'll see how these turn out. There we go. See how many I can get on my cookie sheet here. It says it makes 4 dozen. And you bake these in a preheated 350-degree oven, that's Fahrenheit, for 10 to 12 minutes till golden brown. So it sounds like they're going to be kind of a really crispy, lovely looking little cookie with a little fancy cookie. Fancy but budget friendly. And if you hang around to the end, you get to see what the finished cookies look like. Coming hot and fresh out of the oven. And there you go. All my cookies are scooped onto my baking sheet now, and into the oven I go for 10 to 12 minutes, and I'll be back to show you what they look like when they're baked, ready to eat. Yum. Hi everyone, here I am back again with my cookies all fresh and hot from the oven. Look how yummy they look. I might have gotten them a bit too close together because some of them have kind of overlapped a little bit. There you go, one delicious coconut pecan cherry cookie. Now this dough is quite sticky, so it is a drop cookie. You wouldn't want to roll these out. Definitely a drop cookie. I'll just get these onto my cooling rack, because I still have lots of batter to cook up. In fact, my second pan, oops, flip over here. In fact, my second pan of cookies is even now in the oven. So, get these guys off of here. Well, there's my first 20 cookies out of the oven. There you go, all fresh and hot and ready to eat. I hope you enjoyed my video today. I hope you'll like, subscribe, comment below, try this recipe, and come and watch me next time on Ruby's Classic Cooking. Bye for now.